Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Trig Podcast of Joey and Gosa TV on this beautiful Friday. Finally, we made it. Today is October 25th, 2019. Welcome back to my video. Welcome back to this channel, wherever you are. Thank you for being here on this beautiful day. I'm so excited to be here with you, talking today about how to not be a perfectionist, especially when you don't think you are one. Raise your hand if you don't think you are a perfectionist, but everyone seems to think you are. I know it's true of me, I don't think I am a perfectionist, but I definitely am one. And you can tell. How do you know you're a perfectionist? What do you do? Why is it wrong? Is it right? These are some of the things I want to talk to you today about. So number one, I'm going to give you 4 tips. Number one is, first is realize that being a perfectionist has its pluses and its minuses. So let me first define what it means to be a perfectionist. A perfectionist is a personality trait. It's definitely something that only some people deal with. And it manifests itself by you being uptight about things. Putting it in a positive way is you enjoy things being done properly. And it might start with you. Most people that are perfectionists, again, I speak from experience, we are very hard on ourselves. That can be good because you tend to excel at things. You tend to be the best at things. You tend to have high expectations, and so you achieve high goals, maybe more than others. Obviously, the negative part of it is that what happens when you can't meet those standards, or when you are holding other people to those same expectations that you have for yourself. So perfectionism really is a desire to have things be done your way, to have things be done not only a certain way, but your way. So that's number one. Number two is realize that everything will get done even if you aren't there. Realize that things will get done even if you aren't a part of it or you aren't there. So imagine you're at home with your kids or with your family, your husband, your wife, excuse me, and you want the laundry to be done a certain way. And if you were there, you would definitely fold everything just right. You would make sure that everything is not only folded properly, but put away properly in the right places. Or you would make sure that everyone helps and you would get the whole family to do this with you. Well, imagine if you weren't there. Guess what? The laundry probably won't get done or folded your way, but it definitely will get done. Now, how will it get done? This is where it gets messy. This happens, of course, in all homes. The laundry may just sit on the couch for days, maybe weeks, maybe months. Now, that's definitely not how you would do it or how I would do it, but that's definitely a way to do it. The point with perfectionism is that even if you aren't there, things will get done. They just won't get done to your standards. And I think that realizing that there are different ways to skin a cat is important. You might not enjoy what you're seeing. You might not like the way that other people are doing the particular task, but it doesn't mean that it's not right. It's a matter of opinion. It's a matter of having it being done your way. Because remember that for that other person who's doing the laundry, let's say it's your kids, or let's say it's your friend or your husband, your roommate, for them, it's just fine, but it's just not for you. So realize that things will get done even without you. Number 3 is admit that not everything can be perfect. Not everything can be perfect. There are so many imperfections in this world, aren't they? Let's look at fitness and our dieting and all that stuff, right? I wish I had the perfect body. And for many years, I tried my best. And even to this day, I can confess that I want to have a perfect body. It's impossible. At least it's not as easy as it used to be. And even if I achieved all my goals, my body wouldn't be perfect. It would be perfect to my standards. But what do you do when you can't reach those goals? That's where grace comes in. This is where you have to learn to trust other people. This is where you have to learn to love yourself in spite of the ups and downs of your life, in spite of how you may perceive yourself, how you think others perceive you, all that stuff. I think that when it comes to, let's say, just with weight gain and all this stuff, perception is so important. Now, if you feel like you need to lose weight, or you feel unhealthy, or you feel like this is not a good look for you, then obviously it's important to lose weight and do what you got to do. But if it's based on people's opinion of you, which is my problem, then this is where you need to relax. Not to the point of not caring, but to the point of accepting yourself so that you can do something about it. So that's very important. And the last step, I think, is remember to show other people grace. Nobody likes perfectionists. I mean, do you like when someone is a perfectionist to you? Nobody likes perfectionists. People enjoy learning. People enjoy doing things right, of course. But if I had a boss, or even an employee, or a friend, or my wife, let's say, if she was a perfectionist, it would be hard on me. If I was a perfectionist to her, always pointing out the negative things, that's not going to be a happy marriage or a happy relationship. Instead of being so focused on perfectionism, what if you focus on forgiving people, forgiving yourself, forgiving that things are being done wrong or not as well as you wish? So, for example, at my church, as you know, I'm a musician, and sometimes the music isn't played well, the notes or the whatever it may be. Guess what? I am the one who makes about half of the mistakes myself. Perfectionists like to point other people's mistakes out, but not their own. Or if we do point our own mistakes out, we are so critical of ourselves. What if instead you realize that there will be mistakes made and that it is grace that matters most? A few years ago, I had a young student who was an intern at my church, and she was very intelligent, and she was a business major, but she had never done accounting. And so when she came to me and I had her do accounting, she was so afraid. She later told me how she was so afraid that I would be upset if she made a mistake. Thankfully, I didn't even know this. Thankfully, the first day that she was there, I said, here are 10 coins. I just made up like something like that, like 10 coins or 10 tickets. And I said, every day, you have these 10 tickets that are 10 mistakes that you can make. Now, she didn't make 10 mistakes. Maybe she made one mistake or three, or maybe she felt like she made 50 mistakes. The point was that I made it okay for her to make mistakes. She was with us for about 2-3 years. At her exit interview, that was the number one thing she thanked me for. She said, "Thank you for showing me grace." Perfectionists tend to draw other perfectionists. So what they need from you is grace, kindness, loyalty, that even if they mess up, you will still love them. You will still employ them. You will still care for them. That even when you do give them, let's say, critical feedback or guidance, that you're doing it with love and kindness to build them up. I think the greatest strength of the perfectionist is not their perfectionism, is their kindness. Because everyone already can tell that you do things well. When you add kindness and grace to your high achieving or to your high standards, it really makes you into a complete person, into someone who people enjoy working with, living with, being with. And that's what we want. That's what we all long for, is to be together. Don't you long to be loved, to have relationship with people, to be someone who is like this young girl who can say at the end of her job with you, thank you for being so kind to me. That's what we all want, right? So they dropped something fell apart. Guess what? Nobody cares. You can make up for those mistakes. Like in parenting, what happens when your child, even if they are teens like ours now, or obviously young adults, even when they make mistakes, whatever that may be, what they will remember most is that you showed grace, that you taught them, that you helped them through that problem. Equally, they will remember that you were mean or mean-spirited or very hard on them. They will remember that as well, unfortunately. It's better that you and I start today to practice kindness. You're always going to be a perfectionist. You're always going to be someone with high standards. It's going to be always half of you, and it's a gift from God. But have the other half be filled with kindness, with grace. I want to close with a verse. The Bible says that God gives grace to the humble, but he opposes the proud. He gives grace to the humble. So when you show humility, realizing, admitting to yourself, to God, that you're the one making all the mistakes in the band, guess what happens? God shows you so much grace that you feel okay and you'll improve next time. But if you are so proud and you say, I never make mistakes, it's all your fault, guess what happens? God says in the Bible that he resists you. In other words, you won't feel his love. You won't feel the gladness that you long for. Wouldn't it be better if we begin to show humility? Show humility to yourself, to God, to the people that are closest to you. And guess what will happen? Grace will show up. And when grace shows up, everyone is happy. My prayer for you today is that you will live, yes, in your perfectionism, in your high standards, but that you will fill the other half of that with kindness, with grace, with self-acceptance, and most of all, with a ton of love. Thank you so much for listening. If you want my free coaching, make sure you go to davidtrig.com/free coaching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe in this video. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.